This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
Yes, Saturday night was definitely a tough night defensively. I thought we did some good things. When you look at holding the team 4 for 14 on third down, we was able to create turnovers. We was able to get pressure on the quarterback, and we had 10 TFLs. So, I saw that progress. That's something we've really been working on. The disappointing thing, when you watch the film, I watched it several times, just missed opportunities. We knew we were going to be in a dogfight when it came to playing a team as hungry as UMass, but we had our opportunities defensively to get off the field, and we did not execute that at the time when we really needed to. You look at the couple of penalties that hurt us when we had opportunities to get off the field. Those are the things that we really hone in on Sunday, trying to once again continue to talk to our young men about how important it is that when it's at key opportunities, we execute when we need to so we can get off the field. When you look at UVA, got a very good football team coming that we're going to be playing, and we're definitely excited. In-state, right up the road, our young men are going to be excited. This is what you dream about, an opportunity that we've been telling these young men since we've been here recruiting, that one day we'll get that opportunity to play at the highest level, play the Virginia Techs, play the UVAs of the world, and it's here. And so I'm excited. I know our young men are, and we're going to do our best to represent this great university. So at this time, I'll take any questions.
Coach, as you sat down and kind of evaluated things after the fact, obviously the yardage numbers weren't good, the point total and things like that, but what were the biggest breakdowns, and what do you do at this point to correct it?
Well, the biggest breakdown, once again, it wasn't the calls. You be honest, you're going against a very good receiver, and we wanted to make sure we stopped the run. We know that puts stress at times on our back end. And, he did a good job in a couple of technique things that when you watch the film, you see that we didn't utilize the technique that was taught. And so, those things are always correctable. You just got to continue to teach, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Teach these young men the importance of eye discipline and making sure you have the proper footwork. Outside of that, our guys are still excited. We're still hungry. We knew, and I said it back in September, this is going to be a road that we're going to have to travel. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs when it comes to this schedule. And, I'm excited. Our young men are excited. And, we got to do a good job of, once again, just executing the calls that are made.
I guess when you go back, like you said, put some stress on your secondary when you're having to defend against the run. In hindsight, do you wish maybe, you had done something a little differently with a safety on the back end or something on some of those explosive plays? Or
well, the thing is, it's always predicated on the formation, and so we knew what they were trying to do, and we just made a decision that we wanted to make sure we stopped the run because they had two backs in the backfield, and their quarterback was very good. And it all boiled down to if we brought the safety down, they were going to throw the ball. If we kept the safety high, they were going to open up a gap that the safety would be responsible to try to fill. And so it was a cat and mouse game. And, when we got hands on the receivers, we executed very well. When we didn't utilize that technique, at times it opened up some explosive plays.
A lot of yards the past 2 weeks, but when you look at the last 3 weeks, 26 TFLs, 18 sacks, I think 6 interceptions, 5 fumble recoveries. Where can you guys make sure that the production you're getting up front and in the back end, transitions into fewer yards allowed, fewer points allowed?
Yeah, once again, when you watch the film, and like I said, we watched it several times, it's really boiling down to, as we all know in here, the explosive plays. We had opportunities against UMass where we got 3 and outs, we got them off the field on third down, but then once again, we had opportunities and we didn't execute. And that's what we got to hone in on. We're going to continue to teach. We're going to continue to let our young men know we are improving because, as you just stated, the production is coming. The production is there. It's about executing at all times.
When you're evaluating a quarterback like Perkins, who you're going to play Saturday, what does he do well and what are things that you hope to exploit against someone who's really evolved as a throwing quarterback in addition to his running ability?
Yes, Perkins is a young man that has definitely, you watch all the game film, he's improved each game, and that's a credit to the coaching staff. He's a dual threat talent that's very special with his legs, but he has improved throwing the ball and going through his reads and going through his progression. Our goal is to continue with the production of being able to get some pressure. We know we're going to have to do some things of that nature, and then we're going to try to look at some things in the back end to make sure that we can keep the ball in front, and we're going to change up some things. But at the same time, it's all about executing because we've shown we can go series where we can get off the field. It's about maintaining that throughout 60 minutes.
Coach Gill just said that he still believes in you and the entire defensive staff. What was his message to you Saturday evening after the game?
Oh, like he said, missed opportunities. It was some opportunities there that we could have got off the field. The biggest thing is one thing Coach told me even in the summer, and he said, son, because I look at him as a mentor. He just said, this is going to be some growing pains. Transitioning from FCS to FBS, I want to see you guys compete. Compete. Make sure we're in the game, compete. And that's been the message, and that's what our defensive staff, we know that our young men are competing. We got to address some things personnel-wise, but that comes with recruiting. But our guys are playing hard; they're competing. Our job is to continue to get them to execute. I feel very good that we're getting the pressure, we're getting the interceptions, the turnovers. But it's about at those key moments, you got to be able to get off the field. That's the challenge to our young men right now.
Following up on that, I guess with the personnel, what areas are you looking at right now, just personnel-wise on the defensive side?
Well, our back end, we got to create more depth. We got to get some more depth in our back end to allow some of our young men. We got some young men that are playing 80-plus snaps when you count special teams. And you got to do that. I mean, it is what it is. We got to keep the best 11 on the field, no matter who you're playing. So that comes with the territory. But we got to create some depth that we know that can help us win football games. And, a lot of time that's going to take recruiting and continue to build, which we are doing. And so we're excited because, like I said, our young men are playing hard and they believe.
Going back to Bryce Perkins, watching him against Pitt, and granted it's Pitt, but it looked like they did a pretty good job of kind of hemming him up a little bit in the pocket, I guess, not letting him get out. Did you see some things from that tape that can kind of translate for your team defensively, or is it a good comparison? Just kind of elaborate on that.
Well, Pitt did a very good job with their 4 defensive linemen. They got some young men on that defensive side of the ball that really caused UVA some headaches. And our goal is we're going to do our best to try to mimic that, but we're going to have to do some things to help our young men be able to do that. They did some technique things and some schemes that we really studied last night that we believe our young men can execute. We're going to look at that this week to see if we can get that done because, like you said, Pitt did a very nice job. They did some things that really were very impressive on film.
How would you evaluate how Chappelle Morris played, seeing he played every snap there at strong safety in place of Isaac Benton?
Yeah, when you watch the film, he had a solid day because, he found out maybe 2 hours prior that he would be starting and playing the whole game plus special teams. And so I was very proud of him. He communicated well. He fitted the run pretty good, had a couple of missed tackles. He was physical. And so, it wasn't a big drop-off, but once again, you can see that he got a little weary a little bit at the end, but that would be expected because he did play every snap. But I was very proud of him. It wasn't a major drop-off, so I was very encouraged by him.
When you look at this game coming up Saturday against Virginia, in-state Power 5 opponent, how important is it, just to kind of prove that Liberty belongs on this level?
It's very important. We got to compete. We got to show that, as you stated, we belong at the FBS level, and it's all about our young men believing and having confidence in that. And I know today when they come ready for meetings, they're going to be locked in. We'll have a great practice tomorrow, great practice Thursday, because they know this is what the opportunity everyone's been waiting for, is an opportunity to compete every year in and year out with your in-state FBS programs.
Coach Bryce Bryce Perkins is known more for his running exploits, but he's got some good receivers. Zacchaeus, Reed, some of those guys. How concerned are you about Virginia's passing game?
They got a very good passing game. I think a lot of people talk about Perkins' running ability, but he's improved each week passing the football. And so, you mentioned Zacchaeus, you got Tavares Kelly. He's very good. And so you got some guys there that once they catch the ball, they do a good job in space. So we're going to do a great job of what we call caging the cat, keeping the ball on our proper shoulder, and doing a great job of open field tackling.
Coach, when you look at their roster, they've got a lot of guys that are local guys, a Ben Hogg, so to speak. I mean, were there any of those guys that you came across in recruiting, and how much are you finding yourself going up against them now? I mean, that's something Coach Gill said that seems like it's happening a little bit more now.
Yes. You definitely remember a lot of young men that's in this local area in the recruiting process that are at UVA, but at that time it was FCS. And so, you love to try to get them on campus, and some of those young men did express interest earlier. But once the opportunity for FBS, ACC offers, Big Ten offers, even SEC offers, that kind of changed the dynamics. Now, with some of the young men we're recruiting, we're definitely getting them on campus. That we're definitely being able to show them what we have to offer, especially some of the local young men. And so that's been a joy to see, just to see the interest and how sincere they are and their families about our university.
Any guys that you know of that were maybe on their radar and then maybe they backed off and wound up? Are some of the guys on your side taking this personally this week? Maybe some of the Virginia kids.
Well, I think all the Virginia kids are excited. You can go through a list of young men that are in this state that are being recruited. You're talking about Scruggs. I'm trying to just think, Frank Boyd on the defensive side. I'm trying to think in my mind the guys that are from Virginia that really relish this moment, and not just from Virginia, but just the region. Young men, the opportunity to play a school up the road that is a very good football program, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. So I think our whole team is very excited just the opportunity to step on the field against them.
Coach, you talk about some of the growing pains and this being a transition period, specifically from a coach's perspective, from your own experiences. How do you push through or persevere through some of the ups and downs that you've experienced in your position?
Well, to me, it always boiled down to the vision. I believe in these young men. I believe in what we're doing. I know that we can get this done, and we will get it done. It's no doubt in my mind. That I don't question because I see the personnel that's coming in. I'm seeing young men get better. Isaac Steele is better today than he was when he first got here. And I can throw different examples of young men that are improving. It's all about the pieces to the puzzle. It's all about continuing to grow. The thing that I want to make sure that everyone sees the effort of our young men. They see the effort. They don't see quit. They see fight. They see young men continuously, no matter what the score is, no matter what the situation. You say these guys play hard because everything else is going to come together. Once you lose the effort of young men, once you lose guys and you just see disgruntledness and just nobody's on the same page, that's when you get alarmed and that's where you have concern. Our young men, Coach Gill did a great job, saying, hey, guys, this is going to be a game. Each game is going to be a fight. Each game we're going to try to work and improve, and we want to be competitive. And that's the only thing that keeps me motivated. I know our guys want to be competitive. Our guys want to represent this university. Our guys come to practice ready to go every single day, and that's what you can ask for. And that's why we're still energized. We're ready to go. We know we're playing for a lot, and our goal is to represent Liberty University in a great way on Saturday.
It sounds like you have a great team with all that energy. You guys carry that on and off the field. In your recruiting phase, you look at talent, of course, but how do you discern that individual, that specific player to come in with that kind of attitude, that kind of drive?
Well, I think with us going FBS, we've definitely found a lot of talent that have a mindset that we feel fits Liberty University because, a lot of young men that are playing FBS that when we were FCS. We thought we may have a shot, but of course, because of us being FCS, it didn't work out. Those young men are expressing sincere interest in us because Liberty fits them, their family. It fits how the way they were raised. And so it's been a joy to see the interest that we've had with young men that have Power 5 offers that are coming and visiting our campus on unofficial visits because Liberty fits them. And so it's just a matter of time, I'm telling you, before this program just takes off through the recruiting process because you got to get the athletes that we need to truly be competitive day in and day out.